Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, to the Perfect One, to the Supremely Enlightened One. Homage and salutations to Puja Bhadebanteji. Salutations to our Abbot, Most Venerable Kasapa Mahathera, and the Venerable Bhante Sugatananda, and the members of Sangha. Blessings and metta to dear Venerable monks, Upasakas and Upasikas, those who are here physically and those who are watching us online. A very warm greetings to everybody. And also this Bodhi Saptaha greetings, Buddha Purnima greetings to all of you. As you are aware that today we are celebrating this third day of this Bodhi Saptaha, the Enlightenment Week, which marks the supreme enlightenment of Lord Buddha on the Vaisakha Purnima day. This year it is 2568th Buddha Purnima. Now, on this occasion, this seminar has been organized by Maha Bodhi Research Center in collaboration with our Karnataka Sanskrit University. They affiliate us to run these programs. A part of this, our academic activities, this was organized to awaken, to enlighten, and to spread this timeless, this message of peace, message of compassion, message of wisdom, message of liberating the people from sufferings. Now, I'm asked to give a keynote address on this occasion. In the Anguttara Nikaya, there's very inspiring suttas says that Ekapuggalassa bhikkhave patu bhavo dullabho lokasmin. What is the one person, his appearance is so rare, so blessed, so in the history of mankind, it is indeed very rare to encounter the birth, that is the birth of the Samma Sambuddha. The birth of the Samma Sambuddha is indeed very, very rarest of rare occasion and phenomena this entire world has witnessed. Because this enlightened beings not appeared in years and years, but in millions of years. We call them as kalpas. In 4 Asankhya and 100,000 kalpas, a future Buddha, a would-be Buddha, has to fulfill his paramis and perfections. And how does he fulfill his paramis? How many times he fulfills the paramis? And what is his duty of a bodhisattva? This has been explained in the Chronicles of the Buddha. It says that the Buddha, to fulfill his paramis, the blood he has shed and sacrificed, if we put together his blood, it'll compare with this ocean. Likewise, his flesh. If we compare his flesh and pile it off, and this entire, the earth will not be enough. Imagine how many times he had been born in different lifetime, different existences, fulfilling these highest virtues called paramis. That if we compare his flesh, if we compare with this earth itself. So he says, so bhuming parajiya samansang lohit samansang danang. His dana, if we compared, it is boundless, infinite. We cannot compare. Like that, the Himalaya mountain will not be enough. The amount of, life he has sacrificed, his bone and flesh, even his own life, and his eyes. If we compare, It says this Taraka Adhikarang Nayanang Adasi. Taraka means the stars. Even beyond the stars, more than the stars, is sacrificed. Now the Buddha, when he take up this heroic act, unprecedented effort to be the enlightened one, he has to sacrifice. He has to fulfill the perfection of dana. He has to fulfill the perfection of virtues, the sila. Then the perfection of renunciation, nekkhamma, niskamana. He has to fulfill the perfection of wisdom, prajna, panya. Then the perfection of effort, virya. Then adhitthana, determination, satya, the truthfulness, metta, loving kindness, upekha, equanimity. So like that, when we compare all these, danan, silang, nekkammang, panya, virya, satya, khanti, the patience, adhitthana, metta, and upekha, and that to the bodhisattva, he has to fulfill in a continuous manner. Not for years and years, or one day, like he used to come one day to Maha Bodhi, the next day we vanished here. But the bodhisattva's vow is so strong that he has to fulfill the entire duration of these 4 incalculable years and 1 lakh kalpas. So, nirantara sadhana, in a continuous manner, with such a kriya, with this faith, with truthfulness, with a strong determination, he has to fulfill. Now, the true driving qualities here is of wisdom and compassion. What does that drive a being, a bodhisattva, to fulfill all this? Why he has to undergo all these sufferings? Life after life. This is very clear that the compassion, the Maha Karuna, this Maha Karuna drives him to undergo so much of suffering, so much of sacrifice, life after life, so that he will attain the Samma Sambodhi. And what does that make him a Buddha? The quality of wisdom. When he fulfills this wisdom and reaches to the height and summit of this spiritual perfection and the wisdom, then he attains this Samma Sambodhi. And once he becomes Buddha, then he liberates the beings. Then the Buddha is not a liberated one himself, he also a liberator. He is the liberator, liberating ones. He can liberate the beings. The quality of Buddha is very, very important. He is not only the perfect one. When you know the qualities of Lord Buddha, what makes him Sabbanyu? What makes him the omniscient one? Because the Buddha is the perfect one, is the Arahant, the first one who discovered the 4 Noble Truths, the first one who found out the path leading to the cessation of all sufferings. Then the Buddha is the supremely enlightened one. By all his efforts and wisdom, through his power of his parami, he became Samma Sambuddha. Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddha Vijayarana Sampanno. Buddha is the embodiment of virtue and knowledge, Vijja and Acharana. Any kind of knowledge or any kind of virtues, the highest virtues you can see in Buddha himself. Therefore, he is known as Vijja, Acharana, Sampanno. The quality of Sugato. Sugata means sublime one. His birth, he has come to this world in the most auspicious manner. And his Dhamma, what he preached, is peerless. Excellent, his Dhamma. Perfect in the beginning, perfect in the middle, perfect at the end. Therefore, Sugato, Sugado, Suagato, Sugado, and Sugato. His Parinibbana, we are celebrating his Parinibbana day also. Most excellent way in the nature, under these twin solitaries. His birth under nature, enlightenment with the nature, Parinibbana also with the nature. Most peaceful way. His Dhamma, is excellent. From anywhere you can take. The Buddha has, just like its orchard, he is a gardener who has created this beautiful garden of enlightenment where you can sever, you can take and partake these fruits of, Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. So therefore, Sugato. Lokavidu, he is the knower of the world. He is not the external world. It is inner world. What is there within? The world of sufferings, the causes of sufferings, how the suffering can be seized in a mental and physical level, in a micro and macro level, in any level for that matter. Societies, societal level, individual level, at family level, at the level of universal level. So Dhamma is relevant to every conditions and every situation, without restricting to any kind of any country or society for that matter. Anuttaro Purisadhamma Sarati. Buddha is the incomparable guide. Buddha guide us because human beings these days are called Neya Pugala. Neya Pugala means they have to carried away. They have to get along with the people. When you teach them, tell them to practice Dhamma, put forth effort, then only they do. Without a guide, nowadays, we cannot even, come to the vihara or listen Dhamma or practice Dhamma. So we have to create that urgency, then only people follow Dhamma. Because our mental conditioning is like that. We cannot do our own. We need a guide. Therefore, the Buddha is an incomparable guide who knows the mental disposition of beings. When I say mental disposition, that means Buddha is quality of anavarana jnana. He knows how a mind is clouded, covered with ignorance. He knows how the mind is covered with greed, hatred, and delusional defilements. And the Buddha himself can uncover that. If you want to make your mind bright and radiant, then the Buddha is our incomparable guide. You can exactly guide us to uncover this mind and lead us towards enlightenment. Then Buddha is the Sattha Deva Manusanam. He is the teacher, not only for the men, for the gods. The men and gods, they come to the Buddha to listen to Dhamma. Many suttas, when you see, the deities, they approach the Buddha and request him to teach the Dhamma discourse. So such a great enlightened teacher is Lord Buddha. He can enlighten the human beings as well as the divine beings, but because these deities, they are not free from samsara. When you say devas, here we don't mean that it is a creator God. They are like the beings at higher planes, because the minds are like divinely. Therefore, they're in the divine realms. We are in the Manusya Loka, because the mind is just like we have to born here. Right? So devas, even though they're born in the lofty planes of existence, but still, when the punya finished, they will reborn again. That means they are still under this samsara. Therefore, the Buddha is no more samsara exists for Lord Buddha. Buddha has gone beyond the samsaric existences. There is no conditioned phenomena, conditioned world exists anymore for Lord Buddha. Therefore, the Buddha can teach these devas who are still in this, in this loka dhamma, in this loka itself. And the Buddha, as I mentioned earlier, the qualities of Buddha is liberated ones. He himself being liberated, he can liberate others. The Arahantas, the Pachika Buddhas, the Sotapanna, Sakdagami, Anagamis, these Arya Pugalas, how they become enlightened? By listening Dhamma, by practicing Dhamma, by joining the Sangha, members of the Sangha, they all become enlightened. They reach to the state of enlightenment where Buddha himself has reached. And then Bhagava, the Blessed One. That means he is the real savior. He can bring all this auspiciousness, all the blessings and prosperity to our lives. Once we follow the Dhamma, all the blessings and prosperity starts to come. Not only that, we can reach to the highest blessings in the Mangala Sutta, Nibbana. We can reach to the Nibbanic state by following the Dhamma. Therefore, Bhagavan, in true sense, he can save the human beings, the sentient beings, from these cycles of recurring existences. So today, as you are celebrating this Bodhisattva Purnima and this seminar in the form of a discussions, now how we can bring this, timeless teachings, enlightening teachings to the world and to today's world in particular. Because the Dhamma is timeless, Dhamma has not changed, Dhamma remains the same. The Dhamma of what the Buddha had taught is very much same. And perhaps this is no time in this history, like now, the Buddha's teaching is so relevant and practical because the society is going through so much of turbulences, so much of conflict, and all starts from our mind. How do we tackle this? There is a paradigm shift now, but how can bring this Dhamma to today's world? We should bring these new ideas, the new ways, not creating anything new, but practicability, how we can navigate the Dhamma through this Ashtangika Marga. Professor Ramchandra will talk about that. He has guided entire thesis on this topic. Then Buddha can social reformers, how the Buddha reforms the society, free the society from the clutches of, social stigma and so on. How we can get the social freedom to Buddha's teachings. How we can give the mental freedom by walking the Dhamma path. Charatha Bhikkhave Charikang. Our Mahobhasaka Mulka Muruji will talk about that. The Dhamma, contemplation of Dhamma. So, to sum of this address, if we look at the Buddha's teachings and we say like the Bodhi tree, for example, Bhadavanti used to give the example of Bodhi tree, that how the Bodhi tree, when the Vesak time comes, it just set all its leaves. And then the new leaves will come. Then it becomes so majestic and sprawling with green leaves all around. It just gives and gives. Likewise, the nature of Buddha, when you don't understand, Buddha is so compassionate, so wise, and he just gives. He's a sacrifice. He just gives so that people will understand his Dhamma. His metta, universal love, compassion is so boundless. The Dhamma can be put into a vessels. Buddha has teaching so many discourses. But like the water, we can take that water in different shapes and different forms. We can put it into a vessels, we can put it in a small pot, or we can use it for cooking. We use it for different purposes. Likewise, the Dhamma, the applicability of Dhamma can be so many ways, depending on the needs of the beings. Therefore, we will discuss today, and I invite our speakers to, throw light on these topics where we can find, wonderful treasure of Dhamma from this Buddhist message, so that this research center will be benefited, as well as our students will be benefited, and the fresh and new ideas will come up. Right? So with this, I will conclude, I'll end of this keynote address because our speakers are there to speak. So I hope that these discussions will bring about transformation in the minds of people who are listeners. Also, the transforming the greedy mind from a non-great mind, transforming the hateful mind to a metta and benevolent mind, transforming the ignorant mind to a wise mind, transforming a stingy and wretched person to a generous and kind person. How we can bring this transformation in the heart through the teachings of Lord Buddha. So with this, I conclude. May you all be well and happy. May the blessings of Buddha Dhamma Sangha be with you with well-being and happiness. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.